This is Take Me Out.
Hello and welcome to the inaugural episode of My Antigen, the scientific version of everyone's favourite Saturday night dating show. Tonight we've got 5 lovely antigens, all ready to bind the perfect antibody, assuming, of course, that he's the right size and shape. Ooh. Remember though, no likey.
No likey.
And so, let's cut to the chase. Let the enzyme see its substrate. Single antibody, reveal yourself. Wow, what an entrance. Those antigens certainly seem to be appreciating the size and type of your class. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, antigens! I'm Iggy1B12, and I am from a combinatorial phage screen based on donated bone marrow.
Wow. Antigens, compatible or not? No likey, no binding. Not a bad start. We've still got 4 possible binding partners. Let's go down and find out why some of those antigens have rendered you incompatible. Antigen 1, collagen. Your light went out like a flash. What's wrong with this charming antibody?
Well, Paddy, we're just not compatible. Everything's wrong. He's not the right shape. Not my cup of tea at all.
You disappoint me very much. But you know, life goes on. Antigen 2, adenovirus. Your light, however, is still very much on.
I know, Paddy. Check out those binding domains. You can put those light chain loops on my hydrophobic surfaces any day.
Cool. Looks like we might have a high affinity here. But will that still be the case when we find out a little bit more? Roll the video.
My name's Iggy, and I've got class. I'm an immunoglobulin G antibody who tends to grab onto things my brothers don't like. I'm always inside your body, and I've been roaming around ever since I was born looking for anything I can possibly bind to. I'm spawned from B cells, coming from your bone marrow ever since your mama was a vertebrate with a jaw. I'm a bit chubby, 147.8 kilodaltons, and I form a damn sexy Y shape with my special bits dangling at the ends. I've got a unique shape, and I know that out there is the right antigen just waiting to discover that the loops I've got in my special bits, or complementarity determining regions to be precise, will fit and fill her pockets perfectly. To be a bit more accurate, I consist of 2 heavy chains that form a nice rigid backbone, and 2 light chains. Here is my FC fraction, or constant fraction, and here is my FAB fraction, or my fragment antigen binding region. My FC region is predominantly beta sheet and remains constant throughout my class. My Fab regions are at the variable part and can form 3 different types of binding sites: cavities, grooves, and planes. As you might have guessed, with so much variation going on, it's vital for me to find a matching partner antigen and match our surfaces together. In fact, as our surfaces interact and rub together more, mine get much more rigid. I mean, if I was floppy and bound, then I'd lose a degree of freedom, which would be entropically rather unsatisfactory. Luckily, though, I'm always nice and rigid when I do bind. In terms of antigen taste, as well as being a bit picky with their shape, I'm a bit fussy with their mass. The longer my loop on my CDRH3 region, the larger the antigen I'd love to bind to is. When we're bound together, I imagine a lot of long evenings relaxing inside the nearest macrophage. The structure of my FC fraction determines just what kind of time we're going to have by binding and activating cellular cascades appropriate to just how much fun we can have.
Not bad, not bad. Just the one more light out. Still 3 possible antigens out there. Let's find out why that light went out. Antigen 3, sex-lethal protein. It had all looked so promising.
Oh, I know, Paddy. Bit of a fast actor, I'm afraid. Fit from far, but far from fit. The shape looked right, but when I examined those CDRs a bit more closely, it just wasn't going to work. A shame, but I'm very specific about who I bind to.
A pity. But with one round to go, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Now we've got Antibody's best friend, T-Cell, to tell us a little bit more about him.
Iggy and I go way back. He's a lovely guy, but in his youth he was pretty well wild. We met in the bone marrow as we were going through adolescence together, or affinity maturation as they like to call it. Back in the day, Iggy was such a ladies' man, binding here, and everywhere. But as most young antibodies soon realise, while promiscuity is great, while it lasts, you're never really going to get 100% satisfaction from such poorly matched interactions. Iggy's gone through all sorts to become the man he is now. Somatic hypermutation of the DNA encoding his CDRs, for example. However, they haven't changed that much in shape since his youth, given that all CDRs except CDRH3 form canonical structures, meaning that the structure is well established despite sequence discrepancies. Now, everyone has their own taste in antigen, but there are some things that are fundamental to maintaining that perfect canonical structure. For example, amphipathic amino acids, such as tyrosine, are important for bridging that interface between hydrophobic protein regions and the hydrophilic solvent. If you take a look at Iggy's CDRs, you can see this concept in action perfectly. Check out those tyrosine messages. Ladies, I'm sure you'll agree they are fine specimens indeed. Serine and glycine, being small and nifty, are also often found in the CDRs. They give Iggy flexibility beyond his wildest dreams. Overall, girls, Iggy has really matured, and I think it's finally time he found that one specific binding partner. So please, ladies, leave your lights on and take him to the beautiful Isle of Fernandez.
You've only gone and got yourself a binding partner. We've got 2 antigens left, and we've just heard about how specific you like to be with your loops. Frankly, I think both look like they bind like a limpet, but now the power is in your hands.
Antigens. I've enjoyed examining all your complementarities. My one question for you is this. If you were my antigen, how would you like to coordinate with my tiny binding sugars in my little pocket?
Well, Antibody, with my extracellular binding domain possibly protruding from the cell wall, I like to think I'll offer up all sorts of possibilities to minimise our energy and keep you entropically satisfied.
Well, she may offer up a plethora of binding sites, but my directed hydrogen bonds, sulfates and hydrophobic regions will ensure that our collision won't just be a local, but a truly global energy minimum.
2 excellent answers out there, but which one will you choose? Turn one antigen off and take one antigen out.
Yeah, right, picture that with a Kodak. Or better yet, go to Times Square, take a picture of me with a Kodak. So my life from negative to positive, I just want you to know that.
What a perfect pair. Made for each other. So let's wish them well as they explore each other's surfaces on the island of...
Give me everything.